Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Hopkins County Treasurer Jim Thompson has announced his campaign for re-election. The 51-year resident of Hopkins County, Thompson is serving his first term in office and has filed documents to officially establish his campaign in the Republican primary for another 4-year term as the Hopkins County Chief Financial Officer. Thompson said the position of county treasurer is primarily a position of trust, and he's faithfully served to protect that trust. He said that in his first campaign, he promised the citizens of Hopkins County 3 things: accuracy, transparency, and accountability. He's taken steps to reorganize the way bookkeeping and banking functions work together to improve efficiency and reduce the chance of errors for the county. Thompson says he has modernized the operation of the Treasurer's office. Thompson has been active for over 30 years in many phases of the Republican Party efforts to ensure limited conservative government, working in all levels of campaign staff, as a staff member on the congressional level to local volunteer in many election cycles. Thompson said that for many years he has proudly voted in Republican primaries and is a sustaining member of the Republican Party of Texas. Thompson earned a bachelor's degree with honors at East Texas State University and later earned a master's degree with honors from Texas A&M University Commerce. He was elected during the late 1980s to a 3-year term on the Silver Springs City Council. He served in the 90s as president of the Hopkins County Dairy Festival Committee and on the board of directors for the local Girl Scout Council. He's been teaching a senior adult Bible class at League Street Church of Christ almost 13 years. Tuesday night, Silver Springs City Council passed the first reading of an ordinance setting the fee schedule for the Community Development Department. The proposed community development fee schedule does a number of things, according to Tori Nevadovsky, Community Development Director. It provides more clarity, such as defining what constitutes a remodel versus a construction project. The fee schedule will primarily be valuation-based, meaning that the value of the project will determine the primary fees collected. Building fees will decrease for smaller non-residential construction projects. For a $50,000 new construction building, the current fee schedule changes $1,680, whereas the proposed fee schedule would be lowered to a fee of $540. Some fees would increase for other projects. Nevadowski states that overall the goal is to collect enough fees to help cover the service being provided to city residents and businesses for inspections and ensuring safe buildings and structures are constructed in the community. Currently, the fees being collected are not enough to cover the cost. He said that it is found that fees were quite high on small projects and low on larger projects. Nevadowski said that if approved, the intent is to monitor the fees collected to be able to make an assessment over the next couple of years to see if any changes or modifications are necessary. This will come before the council once again during the month of September in a special session when they approve the budget and fees for the city of Silver Springs. For a more complete list of fee changes, see the article posted on ksstradio.com.
The second annual Fruit of the Spirit Awards and Banquet presented by Colorblind Ministries is coming up Saturday, September 16th. Be sure and get your ticket and be there to meet Tim Brown.
It's all about love, loving people. It's not about hitting people over the head with a 10-pound Bible to tell them how bad they are. We just want to tell them how good God is.
You have selected, well, you did this last year, but it's coming more to the forefront now, a event that you've selected to use to spread the word and to do some other good.
It's part of the ministry as well. We're looking at Hopkins County, and then we're looking at the world. All of these patrons that are getting recognized for some of the work that they've done, whether it's Hall of Fame, whether it's whatever it is that they're going through, they're getting recognized for. And of course, being of the body of believers, we don't have to get recognized because they'll know us by their fruits. That's what the word says. We will know them by their fruits, and that was just a great idea. We came up with with just honoring people who has a Christ-like walk in our community, just to show the church that we're still on top. So we originally was going to call it the Jesus Awards, but the name was so strong for so many people. And then after prayer, God put in our hearts that it's the fruit of the spirits, because we will know them by their fruits. So we're going to select 9 fruit of the spirits and honor people for exhibiting the fruit that they're chosen for.
And this is a public presentation, is that right? It's going to take place very soon.
Yes, at the high school cafeteria on the 16th of September, 2017. Just 1 week, 8 days away, okay. 9 days away. And we're looking forward for the community to come out and really support this. As a matter of fact, last year we honored Bobby McDonald, as we call it, the Josephus Award. He was a Jewish historian, and Bobby, of course, went all over Hopkins County taking pictures and showing news about what's going on. Well, in lieu of that, we're giving away every year 2 scholarships in the name of Bobby McDonald. And we want to let his family know that we love him still, and we're thinking about him in a memory. So to commemorate that, we're going to every year put out 2 scholarships in his name.
Now, the award that he received last year was very shortly prior to his death.
Yes, it was just a couple of months, and that's what God. I'd rather give them flowers before they leave, because they're in a better place anyway.
This year, you have a whole list of 9. Of course, there are 9 fruits of the Spirit, as mentioned in the book of Galatians, and then you have some others that you'll note as well, plus a very important and famous guest speaker.
You know, it's called when God went to Peter. When Jesus went to Peter and told him about cast your net on the other side, he said, "Master, we've toiled all night long and we've caught nothing." Well, he said, "At your word, I'll do it." Well, see, at God's word, we say we'll do this. And now we caught a big fish. Now, the big fish is a Christian man called Tim Brown. There's only been 2 wide receivers out of college win the Heisman, and only 1 to go to the Hall of Fame. So he's the only man in the history of all of football to win a Heisman Trophy and go to the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's out. I was just doing some research on him. And Tim Brown is a big hitter. He's a Christian man. He has a family, and he'll be here to help us celebrate. And, I'm looking for the football team. Coach, I talked to Coach, and I'm going to go out and reiterate with the players that this is a must. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer for you to meet such a man. Because there's only one that's ever done it in the history of all sports. And then, of course, I sent email out to A&M Commerce yesterday to get their team out. So there's only 450 tickets, so we need to get our tickets now.
Oh, so 450 seats.
Yes.
And the event will be held at?
The high school cafeteria. Okay. It will be a banquet. Okay. And we have our famous own Big Smiths that's going to cater it for us.
Okay. And it will be in the afternoon.
It'll be at 2 p.m. Saturday, September 16th. 2 p.m.
Okay, so tickets are available.
And they're available at the high school. They have some at the high school. You have some at Dr. Sirafong's office, which is on Broadway. Then you have...
let's see, we have Good News
Christian Bookstore. That's at the VF Outlet Mall.
I'm looking on your poster here, which we have posted on KSSTradio.com. Also at Legacy Hospice. Eternity Creations. Yes. And Colorblind Ministries. You got it. Okay.
Well, this is a grand event, and what it has done is brought not only the local media involved, but the DFW media, and then, of course, the world media, with ESPN being contacted. When God told us, and you have to believe this, that we are a city on a hill that can't be hid, our light is shining now, because it's going to bring not only Sulphur Springs and Hopkins County to the forefront of all media, but in lieu of all the things that's going on in the United States and all of the world, when they're throwing the race card out, black against white, all this nonsense that's going on, you'll see a community of all races, you'll see a community of all denominations all together and eating together at the same table. See, that's a picture of heaven, and that's what we want to present. We're tearing down those walls of division. We're tearing down the walls of all the things that's going on that does not line up with God's word. That's what the Fruit of the Spirit Award is all about.
Well, we have to ask ourselves in our personal lives, are we demonstrating these fruitage, and couldn't we work to do just a little bit better? And so this sort of is an encouragement to everyone.
Yes, it is. And in Hopkins County, I'd rather live anywhere else in this country, but this is the place that God has placed us. And I think it's because I believe that Hopkins County is the number one county in the state. And because Texas is the number one state in the union,
of course,
and because the United States is number one in the world, we live in the best place in the world, right here in Hopkins County.
I believe it to be true
really
myself, CJ. Well, do you have, or will you tell us the recipients, or is it a surprise and secret?
Well, it's not a surprise and secret, but what the secret is what fruit that they're getting.
Okay.
So when they get there, we'll escort them to their table. Of course, we have Tom Sellers. He's the president of Alliance Bank. We have Brandon Brewer, who's a vice president of City National Bank. We have our own sheriff of Hopkins County, Lewis Tatum. All these three are receiving awards. Then we have Patty Sales and Ruby Hedgecoth. They will be receiving an award. We have Catherine Palmer, who will be 100 years old December 7th. She'll be receiving an award. We have Justice of Peace, B.J. Tier, and Brad Cummings receiving an award.
Okay.
We have Police Chief Jay Sanders and Della Cleveland receiving an award.
Okay.
We have Miss Willie Mae Harris receiving an award. And, of course, we have the owners of the Christian bookstore, which are just lovely people, Gary and Gina Jordan. They're receiving an award. Okay. And last but not least, we have the head man of Sulphur Springs Independent School District. He's my giant friend, Mike Lamb. I tell you, he's receiving an award, and he's well deserved of his award. Of course, we have also KSST being honored as the radio station of the Fruit of the Spirit Awards.
Well,
I'm really looking forward to that.
That is truly an honor, CJ.
Well, you've been the number one station in Hopkins County since before my time. The founder, Bill Bradford, and then now passing it on to the Young family. They've kept it intact, and still it'll be here when I leave. So KSST is number one.
And this year is KSST's 70th year.
Really?
Serving our community.
Well, that needs to be known even at the banquet. So we do have an award of the Fruit of the Spirits. Well, it's going to be a beautiful time. And not only that, it's going to bring a lot of the media around, as I spoke of. And again, God wants us to be not at the back, but at the forefront. And we're going to display that. Not only that, we have the Heisman Trophy winner, Tim Brown, who I've communicated with on several occasions. And I've had several people ask me, how did you get him? Well, if you know the Holy Spirit, He'll guide you and give you favor with everything you do. That's my answer.
Well, I know that you have met some people over the years that you just build sort of a network of communication.
Yes.
And isn't it amazing when somebody pops up that you haven't talked with in a while, but yet that friendship is still strong, and they have something for you.
When you plant a seed, that's what it's all about. And when they see the character of the person, it gravitates people, and they want to be a part of it. So I'm seeing not only the Hopkins County come together as a county for the love of God and love of people, but I'm seeing us really be Matthew 5:14. We're the light of the world. And it starts right here with our community. All the negative that's going on in the community and in society, we see it. What they post and everything, it comes up, it's pointing the finger at people. People are not the problem. It's the devil that's the problem, and we need to identify that. Because if you don't know who you're fighting, you can't win the war.
And if you don't know what the 9 fruitage of the Spirit are, you need to look it up.
Galatians chapter 5, starting with verse 22. Look up the fruit of the Spirit, and then you'll know. That's how God says we will know them by their fruits. And, of course, our conversation, and Nola, you've been such a big part of our community for so long. You've been the voice of radio for such a long time. So, and you have a distinguished voice. So I know that if I'm not even looking at my radio and I'm passing through and I hear that voice, I know that's one that I may be looking for Peter when I see you sometimes. Because here's what I mean. Peter is always at the pearly gates.
Okay.
Okay, and now I see the angel. I thought Peter might be close.
CJ.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
love getting to visit with you and you bringing in good news as you always do. So, pastor and chaplain of...
I'm pastor of Colorblind Ministries and chaplain for Legacy Hospice, the best hospice corporation here in East Texas.
Okay. And of Colorblind Ministries at Como. You say there's not a building, but you do meet somewhere?
Oh, yes. We meet in a building it's right off of Highway 69.
Okay.
210 Black Oak Road.
Okay, out at Black Oak.
We have two beautiful buildings, a sanctuary and a fellowship hall on about 3.2 acres that God has really blessed us with, and we have a good time out there.
Well, if you are feel the calling to attend and see how Colorblind Ministries conducts their services, well, CJ will be glad to tell you, or maybe a contact phone number.
Yes, of course, again, it's at 210 Black Oak Road. Contact phone number 903-413-0067. We'd love to have you out just to come visit, and so that we can love on you. You'll see what love is all about.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
We start with a news story. Next week is homecoming week at Sulphur Springs High School. 16 homecoming nominees who are hoping to be selected as homecoming queen have been chosen by the high school student body. High school assistant principal Vanessa Abram coordinates homecoming activities, and she says this is the largest homecoming court that she can recall since she got involved with homecoming back in 1998. The nominees are Alyssa Abram, Carly Adams, Mackenzie Alexander, Allie Avery, Gracie Boyer, Vanessa Diosdado, Hannah Dixon, Nasiah Dugan, Aubrey Fox, Andon Hammock, Maggie McGlamory, J.C. McKinney, Kate Potts, Anna Sapaw, Amani Taylor, and Mika Van Bentham. The nominees will have interviews with news media members next Tuesday morning at around 10:35 a.m. Then on Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. before school, they will have a practice at the indoor facility. There will be a homecoming pep rally on Friday afternoon at around 3 p.m. on September 15th. Also, on Friday evening, September 15th, pregame activities will begin at 6:40 p.m. for the homecoming court. Homecoming princesses and the queen will be named. The Wildcats will be playing Paris on Friday night, September 15th. And another news story that we have, the Blue Blazes drill team will be a part of the pageantry at the special opener for the Wildcats football season at renovated Gerald Prim Stadium Friday night. We get the latest on the Blue Blazes, including something new in the way of fundraising from Blue Blazes director Christy McCullough.
We are so excited to be on the new Prim. We actually went over and had practice yesterday morning, and the girls loved it. I tried to make it as normal as possible when it was all said and done. I said, well, what do you think of our new home? And they were real excited, said, we love it. And they were talking about how big the bleachers were. And I said, yes, now imagine them packed on Friday night, and that's what you're going to be looking at. So we're super excited. We're ready for all the festivities and get it opened right.
We tried to out of your assistant, we tried to finagle what the first show was going to be, and she was mum.
I know, and I think that was only because she knew, but she was kind of like, I don't know if I said anything or not, but no, Kimmy's good like that. No, we're just doing a Palmer team to start it, just traditional Palmer team, but we did it last week in Sherman and had a really good crowd response. Of course, we're facing Sherman side, but got a good crowd response from them, and our fans were very, complimentary of it. Girls had a great first performance. I don't know that it could go any better. I told them they've got a hard road ahead of them now to work to beat that one right this early in the season. So that's a little scary to say. So we're just excited about doing it in front of our home crowd and, like I said, opening the new Prim and getting it all started right.
All right. We always like to see those Blaze buddies I guess later on in the season, and what's the story on them now?
We will actually be going out in the next couple of weeks, probably get through homecoming and then go out with homecoming being so early in next week and get our performance through that, and then go out and start visiting the campuses to promote that. Pretty much going to be the same as always. That they'll get to do a football game with us, as you mentioned, get to do pregame and sit with us during first quarter. They'll be in the Christmas parade again, and we'll have our annual Christmas party with them that we like to have. They'll get the opportunity to dance in spring show, and then we're actually going to work on a little bit more, maybe correspondence between the Blazes and the Buddies back and forth this year. Some, good luck notes or just keep it up in school notes. Trying to really promote, the reading and the school. Academics, because so many of them are in that elementary age that we want to kind of keep them on that right track. So we're going to work on some correspondence with that as well.
All right. Now, your booster club, something different and new this year that you can tell us about?
Yes, we're really excited. The Booster Club officers and I have been talking for the past couple of years, just trying to really maybe find our own little niche. We know that the community is so taxed with fundraising, and we feel guilty of that as well. We're always so grateful for the generosity that people in the community give and support whenever we are doing fundraising, but we also know that with so many organizations, it does get taxing on a town this size. So we were trying to look for maybe one event to put all of our efforts into instead of having to continually try and go out and ask for money for different things. And so through many ideas and many great conversations, we've decided that the Booster Club is going to be trying to host, and we're starting this year, an annual dinner and auction night. Just a time to come together as families. Everything will be family friendly. There'll be some auction items that are family friendly that we hope to even get younger children involved in, and some silent auction items for them. I believe tickets are on sale now. The Blazes are selling them. Our Booster Club's selling them. Tickets are, I believe, $10. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I believe they're $10. And that includes meal and your paddle and stuff for auction. There'll be silent auction items and live auction items, and we are actually collecting those right now. We've got parents that are donating some items. There have been some businesses already that have been very generous in donating to us on that. So please buy a ticket. Please come have dinner. It's Saturday evening, September 23rd. We're hoping to make it an annual fall thing, kind of almost a little bit of a back to school time to come together and just have some fun, fellowship, and fundraise for the Blazes for the year. Our big focus this year, of course, is always a spring show. We're looking for money for that because that's our activity, fun, and fundraising we do. But I've also got our teen trip this year is we are going back to New York and in January, and the girls will be able to once again see Broadway shows, take a Broadway class or two, like we always do. We go up there, see all the sites, and just expose them to the arts that there are and what the possibilities are, whether it be performance or costume design or tech design or whatever it is. We're going back up there. So a lot of the proceeds from auction night this year will go to help raise the funds to support those girls and get them up to New York so that they can benefit from that trip as well.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.